Last season ended in a devastating battle against the Goblin King, Bodum. In the final moments of that battle, the king thrust his rapier into the dying breast of the Goblin Zagat. Though the crew wrested Bodum out of his embattled ream and killed it, the ream, the battle still felt like a defeat, and it came at a heartbreaking cost. Zagat's life's essence drained, and the spirit of the stag, that god force that guided and protected the market that they knew, was devoured by Bodum's ravenous, terrible goblin magic. In the aftermath, Markif DeHage, old rival to Charnak, secret operative of the Azure Foundry, stepped through a portal disguised as a Grimlock and proceeded to save the crew. With arcane precision and a single incantation, he tore open a path back into the Astral Plane, smack in the middle of the old Jeru marketplace, now a burned-out husk of whatever it once was. In that moment, he revealed his own deep treachery against the goblin market the crew had grown to know. "I'm outed now, and so are you. The market won't have us anymore. But we'll survive. We must." And so, exiled from the market, beaten, battered, the crew stands adrift in a boundless astral sea, safe from immediate harm but burdened by unimaginable loss. Their greatest ally is dead, her limp body carried by the giant hulking ream Busk. The stag devoured, Bodum's insidious presence lingers like a shadow on their souls. Where do they go now? Is there a hope of reviving Zagat or the power she carried? Will the Azure Foundry shield them or use them as pawns in some grander plot? And what of King Bodum, whose hunger for power grows ever fiercer? Join us as the dawn of a new season rises, where exile, vengeance, and the whisper of ancient gods collide. The goblin market has turned its back on them, but destiny is not.
Destiny?
It's time for the show.
To the river they tread, only to be swept away.
Morning and evening you may hear the cry, candies and berries and baubles to try, sweet to the tongue and sound to the eye, but heed words of caution when you then decide to come by it, 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 come by it.
Just beware the goblin.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. You're listening to Dungeon Dads, the Goblin Market. As always, I'm your DM, Tom Blaylock, and I am joined by Sam Frank playing Charnak the Botanist. What's up, Sam?
Destiny is calling me. I've opened up my eager eyes.
Are you ready for this, Sam?
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
But I'm going to do my best to meet the moment.
John Watson playing Dinfa, the loyal marketeer. What's up, John?
He's shaken.
Yeah.
Everything that he's believed in. The king tried to kill him.
Yeah. Yep. He's a nasty dude. I mean, what can I say? He's nasty. He just wants to survive. What am I talking about? The king knows that his life is basically over once he is exiled. You got 10 years as king, and then you're exiled. You get removed from all this power. You get it, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're exiled in a ream body. You're fine.
Well,
your life's not over. I don't need to die for that.
Okay. But you get it, right? Not everybody is super happy about leaving their home. You know?
You get it, right? You get it, right?
I'll show you how much I get it. I'll show you.
Okay, I can't wait. And
he's gonna get it. You want to know who's gonna get it? He is.
Tim Carr, who's really about to get it, playing Eabis. Eabis, the sorcerer, really like the only one who actually has serious magics, and
it seems that way.
Yeah. You played a pivotal role in that final fight there.
It didn't feel like it, but I'll take it. A couple of roles go differently, and I think it would have felt like a much more pivotal role. But I did, I guess Eabis is coming out of there proud of having knocked the king off of his seat.
Yeah,
in that moment.
I mean, it was a good fight. Mm-hmm. I think you did everything you could do. This was not a fight that was designed for you to win, I don't think. If you shut down that portal sooner, I think we're having a very different end of season conversation right now,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So that is true. But in good ways and bad ways. I mean, this is what D&D is. Like, now it's time for Lemonade. So are you ready for your Lemonade, Tim?
Astral Lemonade. Here we come.
Okay. So let's get to it. You're at a campfire.
Oh, it's sour. Oh, it's get more sugar.
A pale glow.
Wait a second. John and I both got milk.
Yeah, you guys got the milk. That's right.
I don't know how it
Stag
ended
milk?
up this way.
Yeah,
It's milk,
yeah.
milk lemonade.
Get that ninja exploité.
Does that mean Markeef gets where the fudge is made?
Yeah, that's right. Milk, lemonade.
Wow, we've gone back to like elementary school.
Holy shit.
A pale glow suffuses the astral plane, casting faint shadows.
A pale, milky glow.
A pale milky glow. Fuck you, Sam. I'm riffing here. Why don't you let me work, man? It's time to yes and this.
I am.
You've made camp for the night, if night means anything out here in the astral. Huddled around a modest fire that cracks in the stillness. The air is thin, and it carries a subtle metallic taste. Markeef DeHage crouches by the flames, and he's sort of absently, he's tracing arcane patterns in the ashen dirt. And you recognize some of the symbols that he's drawing, and occasionally they spark into existence, and then they sort of fizzle out. I think with King Bodum's threat sort of looming behind you, and you got the tragic loss of Zagat in your mind. It's like a mix of grief, relief, and I think uncertainty at the camp. You've got your Reams, who are all still alive and kicking. So you've got Splendor, Busk, and Davman, and the three of you, and Zagat's body, and Markeef. Markeef, you've been on the road for about a week and a half now. Markeef has been very distant the whole time. He sort of stops drawing in the sand, and he looks up at you all, and he says, We're a march. We're a day's march from the Azure Foundry, my friends. We are in a crusade against the Liches. Though I fear it's far more complicated than good versus evil, as it always is. And you see, like, he gets kind of a smile on his face. You haven't seen him smile this whole walk. He says, I can't promise a grand welcome, but at least you'll find allies and true protected rest and security. I know you have a lot of questions, but let me just tell you. The Foundry documents fiends. Mostly just Elithaliches, who now posture as gods, making entire planes bow before their twisted might. We track rumors of new aspirants to lichdom, trying to dissuade them before they cross the line. In truth, we're a mere candle against a void of darkness. Yet, sometimes a single flame is enough to keep hope alive. We have a few members strategically placed in the Goblin market that you left, but I fear our numbers are dwindling even there as the Civil War unfolds. If Bodum is doing what we just saw him do, it's further along than I think any of us thought at the Foundry. So, what can I tell you? I'm sure you have questions for me.
We are out here in what seems to be empty space. But you speak of lichdom as this very common thing. What King Bodam is doing, this has been a secret.
Yeah. I wasn't even sure it was him. There are certain rituals that have reverberations through the planes. We know how to sense them, and target them, and find those practitioners, and we knew they were happening here somewhere. Dinfa, you certainly know that, no king has ever wielded this kind of power, at least not in our lifetimes. We did not think it was him. We thought it would have been one of his courtiers, one of the much, much older goblins. Frankly, I believed it may have been Hicksaw until I saw him defending you, ultimately striking down the king. And I frankly thought it was him because he was taking such a keen interest in your work in Hardat with the boy that would be king, Gregor Wint.
Does everybody know about Gregor Wint being the...
No. In fact, you've never told me about Gregor Wint. The Blue Foundry knows all about Gregor Wint.
So they know how this whole system works? Or
we knew he was being primed as I'll speak in your terms, a super ream. One who could exist beyond just the mere normal control exerted by someone of your capabilities. And so we had to get to him first, which, thank the stag, we did.
How did you get to Gregor Wint?
This may come as a great surprise to you, but we have, at great cost to us and at great cost to one of our own, we have a time bomb of sorts in Gregor Wint.
In him?
Have any of you managed to possess Wint?
Yes.
We all look at each other.
Well, surely you were all of the highest caliber of Kybers, and that must have been why you were chosen for this mission. You must have felt another presence.
We all look at each other again. Highest caliber.
So that person in there is one of us.
Did you turn another Kyber from contract enforcement or something?
It's a lot to take in.
Aye.
It is the leader of the Blue Foundry. He is currently occupying, and we have not spoken to him in some time now, but his plan was to plant himself surreptitiously inside and listen and gently guide if things were going off the rails, so to speak.
Well, I suppose we don't know what his definition of off the rails is.
Well,
there's a whole lot going on in Hardat. And I think it's still our job, and I'll look at the other guys, to help get that all under control. But we'll get there as soon as we can.
Well, this is definitely what you'll be talking to the people of the Blue Foundry when we get there. It's not an accident that I stayed in close contact with you, Charnak. I'm sorry to say, but the guiding hand of the Blue Foundry has definitely steered you toward Hardat.
I will have many questions for these leaders. Questions which, no offense, I'm sure you do not know the answers to.
Fair enough. I do know quite a good deal of what's going on, but it is well above my pay grade.
I shall keep my cards close to my chest. or my vest, as the term may be, for the time being.
Yes.
However, I need more information before we go any further.
I kind of wish I had less information.
Question 1. Gregor Wynn disappeared for some time with a goblin named Sheba.
Yes,
Is she one of you?
she is.
For how long?
Sheba was with the Blue Foundry longer than I have been in existence. I am 116 years old. I have no idea how old she is.
And you? How did you get involved with all of this?
Honestly, same as Charnak. I was recruited. I signed a contract. Except when he was brought here, I was brought to where we're going. And then I was brought here, well, to the market.
You signed a contract with the Goblin Market, which took you to a group trying to overthrow the Goblin Market?
I'm only referring to the organization I belong to as the Azure Foundry or the Blue Foundry to make your lives easier. We call what we are in the Goblin Market as well.
And does this have to do with the schism?
What schism
Weren't
do
there...
you refer to?
I've recently learned of different houses in the old Goblin Market.
Sure.
And there was
I don't know much about it, but yes, I believe the different organizations that call themselves the Goblin Market are predate schism, as you call it. I can tell you that we are the real Goblin Market.
Dinfa looks... gives him a very doubtful look.
Do you know who was king in the last days of the Goblin Market before this schism that you speak of?
There's very little I know about that time.
Well, let me tell you. His name is Fitzgerald, and you will meet him soon.
And that actually goes with the information that we've been given.
That's right.
They said that was King Fifth, so I definitely didn't want to let on that I knew anything about that. But all right. Well, you're the market, we're the market. Everyone believes that they are the hero in the story. I suppose we might as well find out your version.
It is the only version that is the truth.
Sure. Dinfa walks back over to Zagat.
Yeah, still dead.
Yeah, but he's been spending the last few days beside her, regardless.
Yeah, interestingly, she doesn't smell bad. She's definitely not decaying. There's none of this happening. You've been on the road for, I think, like 8 or 9 days. Actually, no, I think I said 2 weeks. It's 8 or 9 days total. Things don't break down like they do in the Astral Plane. They don't break down like they do elsewhere.
Okay. I feel like Dinfa has not picked up on this yet.
Yeah. She looks exactly the way she did when she was alive, except you can see that the life is out of her. She is a limp mass.
Well, Dinfa had a chance. He had a choice. He could have grabbed her body and thrown her out, or his own and Eabis's, and he chose his own and Eabis, and Zagat died. So he's a little grief-stricken.
Well, we'll be there tomorrow. Get your sleep, and I can serve as lookout, and unless some of you want to.
I don't mind taking the shift.
Perfect. I'm so tired.
Yeah. No. Go right ahead.
Charnak is already sleeping.
Yeah, okay.
All right. That's not surprising.
Dinfa will pick up, as Dinfa, not as Busk, will pick up a shift. He has trouble sleeping anyway.
All right, so the next morning, or whatever passes as such, in the star-flecked realm of the of the Astral. Markeef guides you through drifting rock spires and sort of small floating islands that you jump from one to the next on. It is very
How
weird.
do we do that with Saget?
Yeah. Well, Buska's carrying her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Buska's carrying her. It is just, it's traveling in the Astral is unlike anything you've ever done before. It's almost like you're not limited by the space that you can cover in a single bound by anything other than your imagination. You know, you look and you jump, and yes, you don't just teleport there, but your body goes almost as far as you deem it necessary to go.
Okay.
As you head through these spaces that seem to shimmer like, half-remembered dreams, for lack of a better word, like it's like ethereal here in some ways. You approach these two jagged shards of cosmic stone that sort of rise like crooked teeth. A low whistle cuts through the normal hum of the Astral, and you see emerging from behind the rocks figures that are patched in leathers and scavenged gear. They're all gaunt with yellow skin, and you recognize that they are certainly Gith. And their leader, or what seems to be their leader, jumps from one of these shards of cosmic stone that the group is on, and he jumps and he lands like 50 feet away from you. He's got a well-worn bow strapped across his back, and he raises a hand up to you to stop. And he says, "Travelers, you approach the domain of Rusted Horizon Tribe. This road is very dangerous. Very dangerous. For a token of goodwill, we will help you by protecting you as you make your way wherever it is you go. We can see you safely through." And he points behind him, and you can see, a dozen Gith behind him. They've got hungry eyes. They are emaciated, most of them.
And yet the previous Gith we saw were fat.
They were fat, yes.
I look at Markeef.
Yeah, Chief Keef, this is your play.
Yeah. Well, this is Rusted Horizon. We're gonna have to pay these guys. It's okay. What do you have? You guys have anything on you?
Fuck.
I have 20 arrows.
Good. Give them to me. Give me 10 of them.
I have one length of hempen rope.
God damn it. Give it to me then. Fine. How about you, big boy?
Wait, I'm not giving you. I'll give you 10 arrows.
All right, fine. Give me 10 arrows.
Wait, how many of them are there?
12.
A dozen plus
I
the
will
one
give you
plus
8
the leader, right?
arrows.
Fine.
Busk looks at the goblin wand on Dinfa's belt, and then looks at the salsa dagger that I call it, the flamey dagger on his belt, and he pulls out the dagger and hands it to him.
Very good. Very good.
Are we sure we want to load them up with more weapons before we...
You can rip them apart. Look at them. There's very little to them. They're just trying to make their ends meet so they can buy, probably from the goblin market, the food that they need to survive out here.
Wouldn't it just make more sense to get them to get us there and then we hand them back some food?
Would you like to discuss it with them, or would you like me to?
I mean, is that something that the goblin market can make good on?
I suppose so.
We're going where your friends are.
Yeah, we have plenty of food. Here, just give me some things.
I think... Oops, shit.
Here is one tinderbox.
Good, I'll take it.
Going down the list from my explorer's pack.
I've got, let's see here. Oh, I have 10 gold as well. I will offer it to them. Ho there, good traveler. And you see the Gith. He sort of raises his hand, and Markeef says, "Stay here." And he heads over to him, and they're far enough away from you that you can't really hear what they're saying, but it seems collegial enough. And he hands him the arrows, and he turns back to you all and gives you the old thumbs up. You see him point, and then he's sort of gesticulating about something and points back at Busk. And it's clear he's talking about the body that they have, and he sort of nods his head and says, yes. And the Gith holds his hand out, and the two of them cut the palms of their hands, and they put the hands together, and he comes back. He says, "Well, I had to make a blood oath. No big deal. I told them that if I have the magics to bring this one back to life, that we will forego any food to their tribe, and we would be bringing back to life their former leader, so whose body they carry as well."
You can do that.
No, God, no. I told them I couldn't do it, but they thought because we're bringing the body that there would be some possibility of that. So I said, if it works for us, we'll give it to you. And they know that I'm a marketeer, that I am a very honest one, and that once we make the blood oath, then I am bound to make good on that promise. And it's a promise I know I'll never have to make.
But wait, what happens when they find out that we can't do it?
I already told them we can't do it. They're hedging their bets. So if we can't bring her back to life, and we can't bring his leader back to life, we'll just give them a bunch of food. But if somehow we discover how to bring her back, I have to go and find the Rusted Horizon tribe and bring back their fucking leader. So let's not make that happen, okay?
God damn you.
All right. Okay, we're ready. And the Gith raises his hand. He says, "Talavelos, you will come with us, then we'll go together." And
Dinfa, I don't think that there's any hope for Zagat. I know we've been carrying her, and I think it's the right thing to do to find a place to lay her to rest, but I think any hope of bringing her back is, well, it's more than a long shot. It's been days.
It has. I mean,
and we all saw what happened to the stag.
If we are going to succeed...
I know. I want her back just the same. It's worth trying. And if Markeef has to do some extra walking, well, fuck it. Happy to help make him make good on his promises.
I cannot... You have to give me this, Davman. I cannot give up on her yet.
Of course. And I hope that it works out that way.
Dinfa just nods.
Talavelos, let's go. This way. And the Gith.
My name is Charnak. It is not Talavelos.
That is what you are. You're Talavelos through our realm. Come, let's go. And
they're going to call us all Talavelos while we're in their realm.
And they're just hopping from one cosmic stone to the next cosmic stone. Markeef is doing the same, and you land on a stone that it's the largest one that you have seen for miles and miles of travel. And you land on it, and the Gith leader raises his hand and says, "We are here. We have to go to the other side of it." And you see him walking, and then it sort of looks like just a sheer cliff that would fall off into the cosmic realm below, except he just continues walking right on the cliff as though there's no gravity here whatsoever. And he disappears around the side, and the other Gith continue to walk, and they are around on the other side. And Markeef calls to you and says, come, let's go.
Does this make sense to you?
This is our home. Come, I'll show you in.
We're here. Oh, okay.
And
Yes, yes, it's all very astral, Eabis. Charnak steps off the edge.
and you realize that as you're sort of like walking on this, that it's on the edge, it's sort of spherical, and then you pop up on the other side, and it's a
no!
it's a small.
Just kidding.
It's a small town here. It's got walls, but it's weird because there's walls. The walls are not connected. It looks like you could just walk straight through any of the places between the walls. But Markeith looks over and says, "We have to choose the correct gate. All of this is facade. Each one of these little areas here is actually a portal to a very bad place. So here, I'll show you how to find it." The Gith are very interested in seeing where he goes, and he says, "No, not for you. You all will stay here. We will be right back. I've given you my blood. I have given you my word. I will be back with food or the ability to resurrect." The Gith looks up and says, "Not so fast. We require that one to be left with us. That way we know you come back." Pointing at the body of Zagat.
Not part of the deal.
You already shook hands.
Talavelas.
You are the Talavelas.
I think you're the Talavelas.
No, you are. You're the one who's talaveling through our place. This is our home. You're a Talavelas. Fine.
The oath has been made. The deal has been struck. Have you no honor?
And then they look back at each other and they're like, you hear one of them say, "We got you there, Joe. These Talavelas are much more bright than I thought that they would be."
Do you not need proof? If we bring her in and revive her, she walks out. You know that it can happen.
Yeah, we can't fucking revive her if we don't have her.
We was thinking you would bring the revival things back out here for it. That's what we were thinking.
I don't know what we need to revive her. May not be able to move.
And Markeith says, "I told you, there is no reviving anyone. Leave the body, take the body. It doesn't matter. I'm getting you food."
Get. Start pushing Markeith into the plate. Let's just go.
Yeah.
Boss, bring the
Fine.
body.
And he says, "All you gifts stand around here." And he opens up, he has a small purse. And he opens it up, and you can see darkness just flowing out of the purse when he opens it. And he says, "Here, here, here. This stone shall not move from this spot. And you all stay in the darkness until you hear me clap 3 times, and then you may walk out of the darkness." Okay.
Are you saying he has a pebble with permanent darkness cast on it?
He has a pebble with permanent darkness cast on it. He sure does. And he leaves it there on the ground. They all crowd into the darkness. Occasionally, one of them tries to stick their head out, and he points back at them, and shakes his finger at them. And he walks over to one of the gates that looks like a gate. He knocks 3 times. He draws a triangle, a square, and a circle, all inside of each other. Triangle first, square, and then circle. And then a knocker appears, like a door knocker. And he picks it up and he whacks it against the door, and it opens. We're now going to build the world of the Blue Foundry together. So here's what I want to do. We're going to start with Dinfa.
Okay.
So you are walking into the gate. I'll tell you that there's only room in here for, at the very most, 500 people in this area.
Okay.
There's no subplanes. There's none of that stuff. It's a town in the Astral Plane. What's the first thing that you see when you walk in?
So I walk in,
and I see books. I see an
Like
area
floating?
floating to and from a section to the right. I grab one and looks like ledgers of information, things that were written down, names that were written down, maybe what might look like places that these names might be. But this is an area of this is an area of ledgers. This is where meticulous notes have been taken on the various realms.
Right. So it's like you're coming in and are there buildings that you see or just books floating around?
That's the first thing I notice. There are buildings that we are walking towards, but the first thing that we notice is this area of great information.
Okay. Yeah, and there's no rain, so there's no reason why they can't just be out. The books can't just be out in the world too, on shelves. All right, Sam, how about you? What's the first thing that Charnak sees when he walks in?
In the center square, a tall tower, a tall blue crystalline tower, reaching up into the sky like a mighty erection. Building erection.
Okay.
Probably 10 to 12 stories tall. And mysterious lights flickering inside as though various strange magical works are being done.
Okay. All right, Tim, how about Eabis? What's she say?
So you said this was a space that fits like 500 people?
About 500 people, yeah.
Okay. But obviously there's no vertical limit here. We're on the astral. So, I feel like around the square, there's, you call it a square, but it's more of a circular configuration with buildings that have doors that all face the tower. And sort of like a wheel, there's some roads that come off of it, and all of the buildings have like metal frames around the doors that have that same kind of blue color, and it's hard to tell if the blue color is a reflection of the tower or if it's the metal itself, at least until we get closer. But it seems to glint around the frames of each of the doorways for the buildings.
Okay, Sam. It's John. John started this off. John, what's the status of the people here? Are there people walking around? So far, we've described books that are floating around, a big tower in the center of a square, but it's actually kind of a circle. So it's like the center of town is built around this tower, and there's buildings like sort of ringing that tower, sort of facing it, that are sort of blue from reflecting the light from the tower. How about the people? Like, are there people, or are they inside?
No, this place is busy. The first thing that you want to do when you enter, right, is grab one of these books and write down information that you've gathered, right? Or as you leave, you write down what you're about to do, right? But it's that's why this thing is right there at the entrance. You walk in, and then you see people floating. They're walking this way and that. Some are floating up to different levels of the buildings. They are walking along the sides of walls as well as on the floor. It is, but everyone is moving with purpose, and looks very alien to us. But they are very much, this is their life. This is what they do, and it's not, you can't even tell what it is that they need to do, but you can tell that they are deeply into it, deeply involved with it, talking, moving.
Very purposeful.
Very purposeful.
So I'm sort of now getting a picture of kind of like a corporate environment, almost like it's a job site or something.
They think they're the Goblin market.
Yeah. Sam, is there anyone who catches your eye who's out doing their thing, being
Just
busy?
Just say no.
No, everyone looks totally normal and, the same level of interesting.
Yeah, well, let's zoom in on one of them. So
No, it's interesting that, like Tim was saying, there is no gravity here, right? So, what at first, or I mean, I should say, not that there is no gravity, but that it has less a hold on the inhabitants, shall
Yeah.
we say. So, what first appears to be a tower as you come in is much more literally a spoke on a wheel. That people are coming in and out at all heights on the tower. And that the industry of the town does not seem to be bound to the XY plane.
Great. So Tim, last one here.
Hmm.
So you are sort of looking at these buildings,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them catches your eye. I need you to tell me why it catches your eye in particular, and who walks out of it.
Mm-hmm. So from where we're standing, let's say we're at like 6 o'clock, up at like 2 o'clock around the tower. It's not quite obscured by the next building. The glint around the doorway catches as the door itself opens. And out from there.
On the tower. It's on the tower.
No, on one of the buildings.
On one of the buildings.
On one of the buildings facing the tower. So like, we're looking from south to north, and then like the tower's in the middle. So just to the right of the tower from our viewpoint, a door opens. It looks dark behind the door, and then out pops a goblin in a colorful dress, sort of an orange dress that pops out with some things in her arms. And she can't hear what it is, but she turns her head, and it looks like she yells something back before she closes the door. And she's got her arms full, and something kind of slips, like a paper and some brushes that they would use to paint with. And they kind of go out, but because the gravity is not quite as strong, like they don't all just immediately fall to the ground. So they kind of float there for a second, and then she wrangles them all up, and sort of tidies them up and carries them in her arm, and then starts walking toward the tower.
Awesome. So Markeef,
I'm sorry, I realized I messed up my metaphor before.
tell me, fix your metaphor then.
You also gave me credit for John's thing, but that's fine.
I said like a spoke on a wheel, but I meant an axle of a wheel.
Okay.
With spokes coming off of it.
I see. Great. All right. So Markeef looks back at you, and he says, we'll need a report straight away. Yeah, welcome to the Goblin Market. And he grabs one of the books that's flying out, and he pops it open, and he holds his hand just in the air. And as he holds his hand in the air, a paintbrush appears in his hand, and the book is open, and he puts the wooden end of the paintbrush against his forehead, and he leans forward on the book so the paintbrush touches the pages, and you see words just appearing in the book. And you can make it out, because he's close enough to you, that he's writing the story of being disguised as a Grimlock, being called to the aid of King Bodum, and discovering that his mark was in danger, and that he had to out himself in order to protect his mark. And the ink just fills the page, and then without missing a beat, he brings his head back, turns the page, and puts his head in the brush on the next page, and it's full of text. And he leans back one more time, and he puts his head down, and it's full of text. And he closes the book, and he tosses it a little bit toward the shelf, and it goes, and he opens his hand where he was holding the brush, and the brush just disappears out of nowhere. And he says, "Things are different here.
No fucking shit.
Gentlemen. Yes. Come. And you can see the woman that was making her way toward the tower from that door. She looks back in your direction. It's not very far away. I mean, we're talking about, if it's big enough for 500 people here, we're talking about maybe 2,000 feet in radius, maybe in this whole space, and that includes area that's being farmed and the buildings and and the tower and everything. So
it's about a mile across.
it's a less than a mile, but about, yeah. I mean, we're talking about, a little bit less than a mile, a little bit more than half a mile, right?
You could fit a lot more than 500 people in a mile.
Yeah. But they have to grow their own food.
Yeah.
On the outside of that initial circle, it's all like land. It's all crops and animals, and some of them you do not recognize as being animals that are, from your realm. Also, all of the food that's being grown here is being grown under mushrooms that are putting off a massive amount of light. So there's kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's like a canopy that sort of goes over all the land that's there, and everything else is kind of built up. So like the tower and the buildings that are around it go up 2-3 stories. The tower is 10 stories high. But the land, that is all tied directly. Like all of the farming and the husbandry is happening just sort of on the ground. And this woman looks back in your direction. You hear Markeef. He goes, "Oh no. Just walk with purpose. Just walk with purpose. Let's go. And you're walking.
If there's one thing I'm good at, it's walking with purpose. So
you
take
approach
Splendor
the tower
by the hand, and I say, "This way."
Yeah, and you're heading
shoulders back, head up,
and you don't
purposeful strides.
You don't look too out of place here, to be honest. Like the style of clothing and things are similar enough to what you've seen, and in fact, you start to notice that the people, like, it's very diverse. And you start to notice that you see lots of styles that are very reminiscent of planes and realms that you have visited. So it is looking more and more like your market in places where people have just been coming back from being out in the field. And you head to the tower, you get almost to the tower, and the woman in the red robes begins to move toward you. You see that Markeef, he sort of moves around behind Busk, and she approaches and she says, Markeef, what are you doing back here? Desmonda, I'm so sorry. We have to go and report to Fitzroll. Fitzroll? You think you're going to walk up the tower and talk to Fitzroll? Markeef, if you're here, it means you're a failure. I am not a failure, Desdemona. I have succeeded in my number 1 mission, but I have postponed my number 2, 3, and 4 missions. But it is good enough. Fitzroll will understand when he sees. And he grabs the back of Eabis, and he says, when he sees her, he will be quite happy with what I have done.
I realize I've been using the wrong voice for this whole time because I forgot that we were traveling in separate bodies.
Yeah, you're not in Davman's body.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, it's okay. I missed it too. Man of 1,000 voices here, so,
I don't know. You haven't said that much.
Yeah. And she just looks and says, I wouldn't want to go talk to Fitzroll right now if I were you, but I'm not you. Good luck. She bounds up the side of the tower and goes almost all the way to the top. And you see her enter one of the things by like turning her to, like, just her body just like flips straight up and down when she walks in the door.
Just turns the corner. It's funny.
And Markeef looks at you and says, if that's as bad as it gets, pretty good. And and he says, "Come, let's ascend."
Okay.
He starts
Okay.
walking up.
She did not seem to like you very much.
She likes me fine. She likes me fine. She's
Are we-
very happy to see me, I'm sure.
Are we allowed to know what is mission 2, 3, and 4?
Keeping, various stages of keeping whoever was trying to become a lich from becoming a lich.
I see.
So finding out who it was, well, I guess I found that out. But then infiltrating, convincing or killing them, convincing them not to do it or killing them, that was 3 and 4. Obviously, we have failed that.
We have not failed yet.
Postponed. That's what I said to her, too.
You are right.
Now,
Let's see what Fitzroy has to say.
ascending. Did we just start walking up the side of a building?
Yes.
I love it.
and it doesn't feel weird at all as you're going up. At all.
Yeah, the minute we start walking up, Dinfa just has the wide eyes like, oh.
Yeah. And he looks back and he says, "And you'll notice there's no Gith out there outside the gate. That's because we're not on the same rock anymore."
This is
is
absolutely
a-
incredible.
Good one. And they could not even see where we went in.
They couldn't see. Don't even worry. No one here has the kind of magics that they're hoping for. But we will need to bring them food. And he walks up and you see him. He turns into a doorway and he sort of looks around and he turns around, holds his hand up. He says, wait, not 1 second.
I thought you meant he turned into a doorway.
No.
What?
He turned his body. He's walking up, and then he just changes his. He's no
direction.
longer walking on the wall of the tower. He's walking inside the tower, and he comes out and says, "Fitzroy will see us to the very top, gentlemen." He walks, and just before you get to the very top of the tower, you see a dwarf, clearly not of his own accord, comes flying out of the door and begins falling down the tower. You see that he sort of catches himself down about 5 stories and begins running down and slows himself down as he gets down. And Markeith turns to you and says, "Oh dear, defenestrated. This is not good. Let Markeith do the talking. Fitzroy is a reasonable man." Walks up and motions you to come with him, and he disappears into the door. I'm assuming you guys are going to walk in with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Slowly, but yeah.
Reams in tow.
Yeah.
So
So
they're getting quite the sightseeing tour.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
So you turn in, and you're in a circular room. It's the full ground. It's like the full size of the tower is just one area, and in the very center of this tower is a bed. There's no other furniture in this whole area. In the bed, there is what appears to be a sleeping human. Markeith comes in. There is a little bag on the ground very near this sleeping human's bed. It's full of like small pieces of coal, and he takes out 4 of them, hands one to each of you, and says, "Put them in your mouth."
You first.
He does. Puts it in his mouth.
Do we need some for them?
No, do not let your reams speak to King Fitzroy.
Oh, this is how we... Okay. I'll put it in my mouth. Eabis will put it in her mouth. I mean,
All right, Dinfa does the same.
Okay. So there's like a low level hum as soon as you put the coal in your mouth. For a moment here, the taste is really bad. You
Not
feel
like that good coal.
you feel your mouth. You feel your mouth filling with that burnt carbon flavor that is sometimes on burnt meat when you're out cooking over an open flame, but it's so much worse. It's really concentrated. You begin to sort of froth with black spit. Your mouth is just full of it. You look over and you see Markeef, and he pulls a small cup from his pack and he hands each of you one, and he begins to spit in it. And he says, just spit in here. The transformation will be quick. Trust me. And then you won't even sense your mouths anymore. Here. And he passes it out, and he spits again. He says, spit, you will drown. Spit. Yeah.
We all start spitting.
Yeah. And then
Patooey!
it's
Bang!
it's like this room begins to transform, and it suddenly looks like a very well apportioned sitting room outside of a library in a noble's home, very much in the style of the Hardat City area, like what you would have imagined before you went to Gregor to Wint Manor. Like when you heard there was a manor, it's sort of, this is what you'd imagine. And sitting on a small velvet chair is a goblin, and he looks old, but his skin is tight. He doesn't have like, he's not sagging, but his hair is very gray. It's very long. It's unkempt. His mustache and his beard are like dangling down to the ground, but otherwise he's handsome. He's in nice clothes, and he looks up and he says,
Recruit. Who have you brought me here, recruit? Master Fitzroy, it is I, Markeef de Hage. Oh, Markeef. New recruit. How goes the upstarts of the Horde? Master Fitzroy, it is worse than we thought. It is Bodum, who seeks to ascend to lichdom. You know that how? Well, I saw it. He's doing what the Horde calls kybering. Yes, I am well aware with kybering. Very, very well. This does make things uncomfortable, but at least maybe we have a chance to recruit others from the Horde to our side. You three, step forward so I might look upon you.
Eabis steps up.
Dinfa's also stepping up.
Oh. What species are you, young woman?
We are called Tiefling.
Huh. Very interesting. We don't have any of them here in the Goblin Market. I wonder why. Where do your people hail from?
We come from hell.
Which one?
Well, that is up for determination. We vary some. Maybe because of which level of hell we come from, or where our lineage is exactly found within the hells.
I see. Well, welcome to the Goblin Market.
Thank you.
And how about you, human? Where do you hail from?
I was originally part of what we called the prime material plane. My parents did some work in the celestial plane.
Oh, I guess that's why I get that sort of angel feel from you, huh?
There was some unforeseen.
Come here, let me look at your eyes.
I come closer.
and he puts his thumb right underneath your right eye and he pulls down the lid, but it feels so weird. It's like you cannot feel him touching you, but your eye does move down where his finger is placed. And he says,
Are you Azamar?
Yes.
Huh.
Well, how'd you get wrapped up with the Horde then?
Well, I do not know completely. I was very young, and I was raised by the Goblin market.
Goodness. I've seen a lot of contracts for people wanting to reconnect with where they come from. Is that what your contract was for with that Horde of yours?
Yes, it was.
How did that work out for you?
I suppose I'll let you know when I've reached the end.
All right, well, how about you, gnome? Come over here.
My name is Charnak, the botanist, and I am not here to be interrogated or examined. I'm here to have my questions answered.
Feel free to ask.
Are you the Goblin market?
I am the Goblin market. We are what is left of the Goblin market.
Charnak pulls his contract out of his backpack. This contract, and he unrolls the scroll, the lettering showing gold in the firelight. This contract was signed, sealed, and executed by the Goblin market, magically bound to its fulfillment. Are you bound by this contract?
I am not bound by that contract, but, gnome, I'm happy to honor yours and yours, Azamar, and yours, Fiefling. But I will need information from you. And I will need your fealty. And I will need you to continue your mission that you were set out on.
Let me be perfectly clear. I care nothing for your crusades, your liches, your cosmic battles. It means less than nothing to me. You can all go to hell as far as I'm concerned. And he turns to Eabis. No offense.
None taken.
And then he jabs his finger into his contract. 18 wagon loads of sear vine is my price, signed, sealed, and bound. What has become of the Horde's sear vine stores?
I know not of what the Horde has in their stores. I can get you 25 wagons full of sear vine. What was the term limit on your contract, Charnak the botanist?
5 years as a Kyber, serving my botanical and academic knowledge on expeditions to the plains, and dealing violence in the enforcement of contracts where necessary.
And how much time do you have left on that contract?
4 1/4 years.
I'll half it and make your contract for 25 sear vines if you sign with the Goblin market.
You will be bound and sealed as required by custom.
You will record your contract in one of the books in the ledgers of the market before you leave. And when you do record it, a copy of the contract signed by me will appear on the page of the book. No one here can subvert the contracts in the books. We are bound by blood. We are bound by honor. And even worse, we are bound by soul magic.
I turn to Markeef. We have known each other a long time, Markeef de Hage. We have been friends. We have been rivals. You have saved my life. I have not saved yours yet, but it is only a matter of time. I ask you, does the king have the ability to deliver what he has promised?
Markeef kind of like looks at you and he says, every contract has an unexpected price. But yes, I have never seen the king not deliver on a promise. And the king cuts in. He says, I will tell you straight. There will be some level of you working missions for me, some of which might be collecting sear vine from what you knew as the Goblin Market. But I will not send you to die.
You will be bound by our success as well.
I will be.
I sense your need. The common bylaws, I assume, will be written in.
Yes.
Do not intentionally undermine or destroy our ability to complete our contract.
I will not. You will not be head of the Goblin Market for over 2,000 years by doing people dirty. Dinfa.
Charnak reaches his hand out and he points one sort of long, gnarled, old, wrinkled, gnomish finger at the king, and he looks him dead in his orbital sockets. What, am I getting anything back from the king?
Yeah, I mean, he is amused at what's happening here, at your gumption.
For 2 years, I am your Kyber. And then he puts his hand down.
And the king responds, he says,
Takes a deep breath, and he just sort of sits on the floor like that, just like took it all out of him.
he says, the king says, actually, for 2 years you will be so much more than my Kyber. We must break this contract that you had with the Horde. They have already broken their terms, but for us to enter into a new contract, you will have to denounce them on this contract. Fashions a quill into your hand that has got ink dripping off of it, and he says, just write what is in your heart, and the contract will be null and void.
Charnak begins to write that the entity with which he made this contract was bargaining under false pretenses, not being the true Goblin Market, and clearly having no intention or ability of holding up their end of the contract under the term length which they specified.
And as soon as you finish writing it, the contract burns in your hand, but it does not, it's not a hot fire. It just is it looks like it looks like it would be burning up hot, but it's just disappearing. And it's really reminiscent of the silent dwarves, the acolytes of Mistra in Stone Warren Pass. And then as soon as it disappears, a new contract appears in your hand, already signed by King Fitzroy, King of all goblins. Now you sign.
Charnax, he's a little spun. I'm sorry. Give me just a moment. I bargained for 15 years on that previous contract. This is happening very quickly for me.
Take your time.
I don't say that as a criticism.
Eabis looks at Dinfa and goes, no wonder he was so protective of his contract. 15 years.
I swear. Good grief.
And then he signs with a huge, huge flourish. Big John Hancock style curly cues.
And the king says, just don't forget. Put it in the ledger so every goblin who comes by can see. Transparency. That is the hallmark of the Goblin Market.
So that every recorded in the ledger is every transaction that the market has made.
Ever.
As a way to ensure both transparency and security.
You have it.
Much like a block on a chain.
Just exactly like that.
I do not understand the metaphor entirely, but I have heard it said.
And Dinfa.
Yes.
Will you renounce your contract with the Horde and enter a 2-year binding deal with me?
If you will honor my terms.
Of course I will.
My contract can only come to pass if I'm alive to see it. And seeing as how my last king tried to end my own life, that has already ended my contract.
You too must renounce it. Or else they will claim and they will bring the full force of the Horde whenever it reconstitutes onto you.
I pull out the contract, my pen, and I write exactly that. The stipulations of my contract were that I should be alive by the end, and those that enforce the contract tried to end my life. Therefore, my contract has ended.
And it burns just like Charnak's did, and a new contract appears in front of you, and it's signed by King Fitzroy, and you see that your terms of service have been lowered down to 2 years as well. Sign this and let's move on with our lives.
And I see on it the protection of my life under the king. I sign it.
Very well. And you, Fiefling.
That is a tiefling.
Tiefling.
The terms of my contract will be hopefully acceptable, given that you have not seen tieflings here before.
I've never seen one in my life. To be fair, I haven't left this room in 2,000 years.
The terms of my contract with the Horde, as you call it, are such that after every 2 years of service, the Horde brings additional tieflings into service in the market, with additional tieflings being rewarded by my for extra time served. In other words, to say, the longer I live, the more tieflings are brought to the Horde, and they are also offered the same contract. Essentially, I work for 2 years, they bring 2 tieflings in. I work for some portion of those 2 years. If I am killed during this time, they honor whatever that period is that has been completed.
And so your goal is to bring the tieflings from whatever hell you came from into the Astral Plane, or whatever plane you choose to live in after your term of service is done.
Whatever plane this was. The fact that it was Astral Plane was not under my control when I took the deal.
Very well. I will honor this contract. And when we bring the tieflings here, I will offer them a contract to do the same. Now, I will not force them to sign, tiefling. Understand me.
I understand.
If the 2 tieflings that you bring here choose to end their service and not accept a new contract, then the chain of immigrants will stop flowing.
I understand.
Unless you choose to re-up with me for another 2 years, in which case I can continue bringing them in.
Yes, with additional tieflings being brought for additional years of service.
Very good. Accepted.
I accept this deal.
Burn your old contract. Denounce it. Renounce it. Renounce the Horde. And accept my new terms.
I will pull my contract out of a satchel, put it on the floor, shoot a firebolt at it.
And then the new one appears where it was, and it's signed by King Fitzroy, King of all Goblins.
And then I will sign it.
Very good. Now,
pack it away. And we have to put it in the book.
When you go to the front gate, put it in the ledgers. It will feel strange to do it the first time, but you'll learn. You'll learn quickly. Now, In my service, we have a saying. 2 for me, 1 for you. You've signed your contract. That's 1 for me. I have something I need you to do. In a plane that is under attack by undead. You no doubt saw Desdemona on your way up here. She came and warned me that Markeef was back.
Yes, we met.
Her people come from a city on a B plane. The city has been nearly destroyed by undead. There is a library in the city. There are 5 survivors, barely alive. You are to choose the strongest of the 5. Enter them. Fight your way out of the library with them. And make your way to the mayor's mansion. And in the mayor's mansion, there is a book. And in your mind, you see this gilded volume that just an absolutely gorgeous metal cover on a book. It looks a little bit like a chest, to be perfectly honest with you, but you can tell it's just like a chest that surrounds this book. And he says, "This is a book which holds the contracts for an organization called the Temple. You are to retrieve this book and bring back as many of the survivors as you possibly can. Now, do you know how to segregate your body from your spirit and travel through the plains as a gas?"
What?
I have heard of such things, but I have not been able to do it.
If they both said they knew, I was going to act like I knew too, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
The reason we have this tower, what took lifetimes to build, and the reason why we built it here in the Astral Plane, which is the same reason why the other goblin markets continued to make their home in this plane, is because it allows for something that we call astral projection. You may project your spirit as a gas, an ethereal gas, into another plane of existence. You are Kybers, so you will be able to assert your will over those in that plane. The survivors are weakened, desiccated, but very usable for talented Kybers like yourselves. Desdemona has been there once and has promised them that she will return. She will return with you in this. And he holds up a small bottle and he says, "She will tell them it is a genie bottle and that you are all genies from a faraway realm that will use the bodies of the people who were still left alive to fight their way out. Do you understand me?
I believe so.
Well, there's understanding and then understanding. It's a lot. How are we supposed to get back?
Make sure Desdemona lives.
How do we make sure she lives when we are in the bottle in the first place?
Well, she will release you from the bottle as soon as she arrives in the library.
She will not be in danger of getting into the library.
We can get you to the library, but you do not want to leave your bodies there.
No.
This is why you will astrally project, and she will teleport in.
This sounds like Dinfa's clause is good for all of us.
It's dangerous. Yes. But I will do my best to protect you, Dinfa. I will always honor the contract.
It is a quantum leap forward in her previous experience.
It sure
but
is.
I believe we can handle it.
Very good. Now there are 5 bodies. If one of you goes down, you will have an extra body. If 2 of you go down, you will have an extra body. That is all the bodies that are in this city. Total. Everything else is undead. You cannot possess the undead. Do this, and I'll be sending you back to Hardat and your beloved princeling, where you will protect him.
It's a little bit of a stretch.
You will protect him.
Grown accustomed.
You will raise him up, and you will take care of the splintered part of me that is inside of him.
I have a question. For those in the Horde, with their copies of our now revoked contracts, has there been any change to those contracts?
They now know that they have been revoked. You are now personas non grata.
Well, we were already that. I just wanted to know if that extra clause was there, because that will affect our ability to help.
Which extra clause?
No, not the extra clause. Sorry.
You mean the extra clause from all the undead we're going to be fighting?
No,
Those extra claws?
I mean, they will be suspicious if we go back to Gregor Wendt now that our contracts have disappeared.
Don't you worry. You're not going to be going to Gregor Wendt in your old forms.
Intriguing.
The goblin market will not know that you are there. And we will want to keep it that way.
That sounds very good.
How protected are you all here?
Very. No one knows about the Blue Foundry except for members of the Blue Foundry.
All right, my liege.
Are there rules for the Blue Foundry we should know about? Like, no talking about the Blue Foundry.
I think you should attempt it with each other when you are not in this realm and see what happens.
When it's your turn to fight, you have to fight.
I just want you to know.
As I have always said.
I just want you to know that the goblin market has had a leader who has been able to wish a number of times. Unfortunately, my wishes have all run out. But one of them is that this place can never be revealed by anyone, anywhere, in any plane, unless you are actively under contract. And if you want, you can look for my contract that I have signed with the Goblin Market as well. You will find it says, monitor all liches and destroy every lich in all planes of existence. But I, too, am a lich. And therefore, my contract will never be completed until I and all the other liches in the planes of existence are destroyed.
You allowed yourself to become that which you are hunting.
Allowed myself is a interesting way of putting it. Fought for the right to be. Killed everything in my path. Soaked up the essence of every god I could find.
Forgive me, but you are no different than the king that we just renounced.
He is different in one very important way, Dinfa. He intends to pay us.
And I intend to rid the universe of my own existence at some point.
Insight check.
Charnak waves his hand as though this is immaterial dramaturgy.
I got a 7.
Yeah, I want to get the same read.
Yeah,
I'm not-
go ahead.
I'm not acting outwardly suspicious at all, but this is a little off. 13.
I mean, it is hard to tell. I mean, the fact that you're not even talking to him right now, you are basically inside his brain and talking to the projection that he has. He is very well controlled in the sense that, like, he's showing you exactly what he wants to show you. And you definitely know that.
He's not telling us anything we didn't already know. Life is a lich and then you die.
We can make this accord then. Prepare, get what you need. Our stores are your stores. Our weapons are your weapons. Desdemona needs to carry everything. She will
Yeah, I
be
was gonna
your
say,
only accomplice.
Not much good to us as a gas.
Yeah, that's right. She will bring something appropriate. The bodies in the library are all goblins. So she will bring armor, weapons appropriate for that size of being, and appropriate for however it is you prefer to fly these things.
Very good.
And he
Thank
holds
you.
his hand out and he says, "This is called a handshake. It's very popular in some planes."
I grab his elbow.
Yeah. So you don't feel it,
I shake it with my hand.
but it does when you close your hand only goes so far, and but you don't actually feel a hand there. And he says, "Very good. Welcome to the Goblin Market." And that's where
Boy,
we're
if
going to
I-
end episode 25 of the Goblin Market. Welcome to the Goblin Market. It's probably the name of this episode.
If I had a gold piece for every time I heard that.
2
I
gold
have
pieces.
2 gold pieces, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Oh, man.
Wow. Big info dump there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got your contracts.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that is from Charnak.
I was like, what is that?
Yeah,
that
I don't
he's
know.
asking for
But he's going to get it.
That's on the hidden character sheet.
another mystery we will have to unfold. I'd never written my contract down. Like
Wow.
it was like an idea I had like halfway through the season. I was like, oh, that's an interesting contract idea.
Yeah, it's cool. I love
Yeah.
it.
Well, let's talk about it on the bonus.
Yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
around the bonus.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by, everybody.
Patreon.com/Dungeon Dads. Head over, use the website. It's cheaper than if you go through Apple because I don't know. Apple's charging extra. So
Yeah.
head over there, get the extra content, get bonus episodes, get Discord access, get Mountain City Mayhem perhaps.
It's a great app. It's a great campaign, everybody. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks
See
for
you soon.
coming by.